Was trending traders. Richard here, the Elite Wave Jedi, back again with another quick and awesome technical analysis dose, serving traders responsibly here with Orbex.com. Today is the 26th of November. It is 12:38 p.m. Eastern European Standard Time, and I am eyeballing the USD yen and the precious metals because I am noticing a possible correlation between them, and if it's correct, then this could actually send the precious metals, gold and silver, towards some nice bullish journeys. So there are timestamps available there. So if you don't wish to stick around for the entire video, just use them and it's all good. So also, if you like this video, please support me with a thumbs up. Yep. So let's get charting. Now, I'm going to start with the dollar index here on the 2-hour chart. So in the previous videos, I've been mentioning that dollar could actually start that bearish impulse on the downside. So it does seem like it does. I mean, that it does look bearish. So what about this? This type of structure kind of looks corrective right here. I'm not sure if it's even gonna provide that that last swing on the upside, so we can actually give that proper bearish divergence. Or however, a breach of this trend line could be very important. It could be massive. So let's just continue. So on the gold, on the precious metals, I'm noticing something actually happening. And remember in my previous videos when I did this fractal example with the patterns, right? Let me show that magic trick again, right? Now I'm gonna clone this, right? So I'm gonna take the entire structure right here, yeah, and I'm gonna make it smaller so I can show you guys a couple of things. Now the point is that the way this pattern actually started resembles, it's not the same obviously, but it does resemble it, right? I mean, in a sense that the way this thing started, yeah, a rise, drop, and an ending diagonal. So a rise, drop, and an ending diagonal, and then it corrected. Not sure if this is the entire correction for this wave 2, right? I would like to see, I would be more comfortable to basically see a correction towards the 61.8. Let's say, for instance, Fibonacci retracement, default measurements for a wave 2, and that would make me feel, that would be more comfortable for me, let's say, right? So let's just continue. What would be expected according to this wave count? As you can see, the wave count on gold is pretty bullish right here because I'm labeling the wave 1 minuet black as complete, and I'm actually waiting on a typical correction. So not, as I said, not sure if it's gonna provide that last drop, but it could actually give it right in a W, X, and then ABC for the Y for this too, right? If it's even like that, but we'll basically see. Now another thing that it can do is in the other scenario, this wave count could be like this. I mean, 1, 2, that's the only correction we had, and it's like shooting on the upside for the bullish journey. So yeah, just wanted to make this quick video so that you guys can get that heads up, right? So moving on to silver on the 2-hour chart as well. Silver already had a deeper contraction, so this kind of makes me wonder if the metals are ready to go, right? In this type of correction, so that basically this is 1 and then 2, and it shoots. Okay. Now, on the other scenario, it could deliver that last leg on the downside. So it all depends on the dollar's intentions right there, if it's going to provide that last move up or not, right? So continuing with the the energy sector with crude oil WTI, this pattern doesn't really have. I mean, it is an impulse on the downside. I've been very active right there, right? So it did drop a lot, right? So even there. So basically, what I'm noticing is the fact that a bullish divergence is not really there yet. Okay, so what I would like to see is one last drop in order for this bullish divergence to be more valid, and then possibly seeing WTI bounce. Now, as for the Euro USD, there is a pattern right here, corrective piece, right? The way it went on the upside in the leading diagonal 1, 2, then 3, 4, and then the fifth leg. So we have wave 1 minute green, let's say for instance complete. Now the way it retracted in a wave A, then B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So it's either this is the C, okay, or what I would like to see, what I would be more comfortable with, would be basically another, let's say for instance, another drop, so that it can properly hit the 61.8 fibs, and we'll see basically what its plans are from there. Now moving on to pound dollar. Pound dollar, the way it moved on the upside, this wave is quite choppy. I don't know if I should treat this as a wave one right here, and then ABC, then two, and then the extension one, two, and then this is it, right? Or to treat this as entire correction, and we have more downside for this, which means that this is not a wave two because it's gonna bridge this low, right? I mean this low, right? So it is kind of tricky, but the way it looks like it could want to just jump, right? So we'll keep more, I mean, an eye on it. But let's say, for instance, the way I started this video is I mentioned the USD yen, and this is quite important, right? Let me just explain to you what I've noticed so far, right? So while it was basically rising here, descending diagonal, I've mentioned this possibility as a bearish cipher, right? In this type of harmonic A, B, C, D, right? Like this. So this bearish cipher right here. Now and I mean another harmonic pattern could be like this: A, B, C, and then the D, right? Which is basically this bullish butterfly. But the bullish butterfly would be after it would end this D wave, right? Which means a bearish impulse. So we'll basically see now the USD yen is pointing on the downside, let's say technically speaking. It could go down, not saying that it will. You guys don't need to take my word for it. Every trader is different in his or her trading style. This is not an investment advice, obviously. Risks should be acknowledged. So yeah, let's just continue. Now the USD Swiss is, let's say, what do you say about this possible bear flag, right? So it could drop a late, a bit more, and we'll see how this actually would look. As for the AUD USD, the Aussie, I've marked this in an extension, let's say for wave one. Not quite satisfied, let's say, with this correction. I mean, being the only one in a wave two. So as I would like to see, let's say for instance, this A, B, and then a C leg, right? A C leg to actually hit either the 50 or 61.8. I would be okay with each, you know, um, with one of them, but we'll see. Now, as you can see, all these patterns so far are pointing towards one more possible push for the US dollar before it could actually get a hammer. So NZD USD, the Kiwi, I'm labeling it like this: 1 2, and then 1 2 3 4 5 in the extension, the free, and then this is in a corrective pattern complex, right? Which could be right here ABC, W, then X, A, or Y right here, and X and a Z in a triple free, or W, X, A, B, C right here for this Y, for this 4, and to possibly continue on the upside, because the way it's channeling right here is quite bullish still, in my personal opinion. So I do see possible more upside. As for the start of the day, USD CAD is, let's say for instance, is to be watched in my personal opinion, because if this actually breaks this trend line, could be quite important. We could actually even weakness. If that happens, we could actually um, see a difference right here. Let's say for instance, approximately 1,500 pips on the downside, which is quite interesting, right? Not to mention, I mean, this actually correlates with the WTI possibly bouncing right from the somewhere around the 50 level, something like that, even 48. So we'll see about that. Now the Euro GBP, Euro Pound is synchronizing with the Pound Dollar, right? So because if the Pound Dollar would go up, then Euro GBP to possibly continue on the downside. So the way I'm labeling this is in A B running flat right there. So then the C wave completing possibly the intermediate A red, and then A B C another structure right here for a running flat. And let's see if that actually happens on the downside, right? Now the pound Swiss looks like it wants to shoot and continue basically this structure that it's actually did, because this structure could be, let's say for instance, W, A, B, C, X. So this could be moving right here, and then the impulse on the upside. So, however, it could be labeled like this as well. W, X, and then A, B, 1, 2, and then 3. Notice this possible bull flag right there. So the corrective kind of looks bullish right there. Now, as for the DAX, Germany 30, it actually broke out, let's say for instance on this previous channel, and they need to be watched, these indices, all of them, the European indices, US indices, and I'm going to explain to you why. So before I go into indices, let me just jump on the VIX, the 2-hour chart right there, because um, the rise actually has an impulsive sequence, right, and a 5-wave sequence in this one. Let's say for instance, then the corrective 2 synchronized with the 61.8 of this one. So they kind of coincide there, right? Now again, wave 2 after this correction synchronized with, rested on the 61.8, gained support, and then again on the 61.8, we'll see where this leads. Because if a bounce will happen here, then it could be quite dangerous for the US indices, right? So we'll see. Not to mention that this pattern could be like this, yeah, for the upside. So yeah, now continuing with the DAX, right? Continuing with the DAX right here, this kind of looks corrective. So this piece right here could be one more for a bigger move on the downside. So it kind of needs to be watched. The way it started, however, it is quite impressive. Looks impulsive. This correction in the middle, but so could could this pattern be like this? And this was just a trick and to continue on the downside. So we'll see. Doesn't really, I need this to prove it to me. Now, the Dow Jones, right? US 30. The way I'm labeling it is in a corrective B right there. So A, B, and then a possible extension in the C. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right? We'll see if that actually happens. So in other words, everything is based on the VIX. If the VIX will continue the volatility spike or not, because if it does, indices could be quite bearish upcoming. So we'll see if that it actually happens. So SPX similar to the Dow Jones in an A B right there with a running flat as well. So then the C leg basically 1, then 2, then 1 and 2, and we'll see if this actually has more downside. The reason why I'm saying that is because the Nasdaq is um, is bearish in my personal opinion. So we'll see again running flat right there in this B wave, and then 1 2 1 2, right, and then the 3. They're quite bearish, right? So we'll see. I mean, if this manages, I mean all of them in fact, if they manage to basically to jump to break out, then yeah, could actually be a sign that the bull market would actually return. However, it's a long stretch until there, so I need all of them to basically prove that to me so that we can actually move along. So this was it for today. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you wish to receive more videos like this, notifications, etc. Tap the bell if you want to. This was Richard, and until next time, stay in the green and many pips ahead.